alleyway after receiving reports that somebody had been shot.
911, where's your emergency?
I just heard some gunshots and there seems to be a person on the ground not responding.
Oh no! No! Stop! You need to move right now. That's my sister. That's my sister. Please let me go.
The officers began CPR, fighting to save the victim's life, but it quickly became clear that they were too late.
Victim appears to be beyond medical help here. I'll stand by.
It wasn't long before EMS arrived and confirmed what the officers had feared. The victim, 15-year-old Lakeisha Williams, had succumbed to her injuries.
What was TOD? Like 348?
CCOD, bro.
Female Lakeisha.
The police quickly secured the crime scene and immediately began their investigation.
Is there casings over there? Do you guys know anything about what happened?
That's my sister.
That's your sister?
That's my blood sister. I don't know nothing. I just got here.
But if the shots came from in here, we're gonna have to want this.
They were able to obtain surveillance footage from the area.
If that's your blood sister, why are you all the way up? What happened? How y'all don't know what happened?
And the moments leading up to the
That's your sister.
Camera.
Y'all like downtown?
The alleyway. 5 kids can be seen riding around on scooters at around 11:30 p.m.
Well, like
One of these kids was Lakeisha. Her brother, the one in the orange shirt, was leading the way as the group turned into the alley. When he reached the end of the alley, he looked to his right and saw a mysterious group walking towards him. He immediately pulled a U-turn, as if he was trying to avoid them. When the group reached the intersection, one of the members
Don't tell me that's what it is. Y'all got beef in the street?
looked down the alleyway, drew a handgun from his waistband, and shot 4 times. One of those bullets struck Lakeisha in the back of the head. Both groups were caught off guard and scattered in different directions. Since the shooter had his face covered, the police were unable to...
That nigga came over there for business, fool. They deep as shit. They probably came over here to jump some shit. This nigga over here, bamming around though.
A positive ID. So, when Detective Brandon Romero was put on the case, his main objective was to hunt down the witnesses who were at the scene, and hopefully they could identify the shooter. In the meantime, the dispatcher shared a general description of the shooter to all units.
Suspect information is a black male with a hoodie, black and white sweatpants, and dreads. That's all we have at this point.
Word quickly spread throughout the community of Lakeisha's death, and her friends and family began showing up at the scene, looking for answers as to who did this.
Hey, I got her.
Since the police didn't have much information at this point, they asked Lakeisha's family to visit the station the next morning.
I can tell you guys personally that we have a really good start on this case.
Okay. Did you guys get the video from the cinema?
Yes. Yeah, we got video and we watched. I mean, there's a guy right now actively. We're pulling cameras after camera throughout the city. The only unfortunate thing is
That's fucked up, bro.
The shooter's face.
That girl, she probably ain't have nothing to do with that shit,
We
bro.
understand that there's going to be juvenile, young little kids that ain't going to want to talk to us as this moves forward, but at the end of the day, we'll get there.
Okay.
Trust me, we'll get there.
The family had important information to share with the detectives. They had reason to believe that Lakeisha wasn't the intended target of the shooting. Instead, it was more likely that one of Lakeisha's friends had angered a local gang member after a fight that had recently taken place.
I told you, bro.
They had no idea who was involved in the fight.
Do you have any idea when this fight was?
That was a couple weeks ago.
That was a couple weeks ago?
Although this information was useful, the detectives explained that speculation alone wasn't going to bring justice to Lakeisha's killer.
Biggest and most important thing out of this whole thing is we have to work backwards, identify the people that she's with.
You gotta be able to prove stuff. It's great being able to have you guys pass on information, but that's called hearsay in the court's eyes. You can't go up on the stand and testify to that.
Right.
We have to hear it from the people that actually saw it.
So moving forward, if anything else comes up, names, please just call us. Or if you're able to talk to any of them that you know are there now for sure, and they're willing to talk to us, because at the end of the day, we
Damn,
gotta
bro.
piece this together.
That feels fucked up, bro.
She was gonna go to the NBA. It ain't not a shadow of a doubt in my mind.
I don't care what she had going on. What happened did not happen.
I just want justice.
At least I know that y'all are trying to figure out what's going on.
Trust me, we're
Damn, man. I have to kill that little girl like that, man.
doing it. I'm going on about 12 hours of sleep less.
Hit your target, nigga.
It's a priority and there's a lot of work being put into it.
Detective Romero spent the next 48 hours organizing all of the security footage gathered from around the city, and he managed to follow the shooter's movements throughout the night of the murder. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary as the shooter spent the night roaming the streets of downtown Grand Rapids. He picked up some friends along the way, and eventually, it was the same group of people that were present during the shooting. Unfortunately, Detective Romero still couldn't...
They deep as hell for no reason, folks. They're looking for the bullshit, and a white girl.
However, after...
The white girl that they got with them, she gonna snitch first. All they gotta do is find her.
After the shooting, about 2.5 blocks away from the scene of the crime, he was finally captured walking down the sidewalk without a mask on. He eventually met back up with his friends, and they got in a car and drove away. Now that he had a better shot of the shooter's face, Detective Romero asked Lakaisha's sister and one of her friends to come to the station for an interview, hopeful that they could put a name to the killer's face.
You guys know why you're here. Do you understand? Right? We are investigating what happened to your sister. What do you know about what happened?
I was at home. I was supposed to meet her downtown. But then, literally, like 30 minutes after they got downtown, I got a call, and then it was like, look, Kaji got shot. And I was like, what? By who?
Okay. I'm going to show you a video. I just want you guys to tell me who it is. Okay.
Yes, that's just like him. And why is he not? That's irritating. Clear day.
18-year-old Josiah Pittman is a troubled teenager who also happens to attend the same high school as Lakaisha and her siblings. He lives in a rough neighborhood in Grand Rapids where gun violence is common and death is frequent.
Now they're gonna try to say it. Now they're gonna say he a gangbanger.
I'm telling you, that was every day. Yeah, we had almost every single class together. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we still like kept in touch. Like even after Lakaisha died, I did text him and kept everything cordial. Like I didn't even know nothing. I just asked him on the phone, like, "You killed Lakaisha?" And he told me no. He lied. So, but I would go and identify that. But I would go if he go to court for this. I'm gonna be at every single one. I don't care. And at least I'm gonna go knowing that I spoke up for Lakaisha. And has he even been brought in?
Do you still have enough evidence right now?
Even though this was a step in the right direction, they couldn't arrest Josiah until a witness that was actually at the crime scene could confirm that he was the shooter. The problem was that none of the witnesses were coming forward. So, on July 1st, 2024, the Grand Rapids Police Department released this surveillance footage on their social media. In the footage, Josiah's 5 friends can be seen, 4 males and 1 female. They appeared to be high school kids, possibly in their late teens. The same day they shared this clip, Police Chief Eric Windstrom held a press conference urging the community to help identify the people in the video.
When we lose a 15-year-old to gun violence.
That nigga ugly as hell. I wanted to ask him
and we need to hear from them. We need to talk to them. And we need the adults in Grand Rapids
to identify this girl. He was eager to interview her, so he went to the girl's house to speak with her mother.
Hello.
Why I tell you they was gonna try to find her first?
Do you have a daughter by chance? Explain to her she's not a suspect. Okay. So it is very important when we talk to her. Okay. Okay. Tell her. Give me a call. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Take care. Although the girl's mother seemed cooperative, 20 days passed with no word from the witness, and the investigators were beginning to lose their patience. Detective Romero decided to contact the witness's mother again, this time by phone, and he explained that there could be serious implications if her daughter didn't tell the police what she knew.
Smart founders know something most people miss. Get your domain name even if you're not ready to launch your business. With Wix,
you ugly nigga.
Detective Romero.
You ugly.
Well, I can explain a lot of things to you that will probably ease your mind. There was a homicide that occurred down in the city of Grand Rapids, and I've identified your daughter as being one of the, I'm going to call her a witness because that's what she is. I can tell you this right now. she was within feet of the individual who fired the shots. And now, do I believe she knew that it was going to happen? I don't. And that's just based on body language, but she was with the suspect. She just needs to understand that I am investigating a violent crime. If you lie during a violent crime investigation, you can be charged with it. Okay? You're welcome. Bye-bye.
The wheels were now in motion, and it seemed like a witness interview was finally going to happen. But before the interview could take place, somebody called the police department reporting a stolen vehicle, a seemingly unrelated incident. It didn't take long for the officers patrolling the streets to track it down. They pulled the vehicle over, and as they approached it, two people hopped out and booked it.
They're bailing.
Hot car.
Rosemary and Evergreen. Whoa, hey, stop, dude! Stop!
The two suspects were surrounded, so they began cutting through random properties and hopping fences.
Stop! Two backwards.
The officers were right on their heels.
How you fall?
They were able to catch up to
This
one of the
nigga
perpetrators
fall, bro.
and tap him
got
to the ground.
I was finna say, bro. What the fuck? Nigga, did you fall, nigga? Would've said if you would've fell, bro, you would've bad.
Josiah, what's your last name, Josiah?
Oh shit, that's him right there.
The officer had no idea who Josiah Pittman was until he checked his record and discovered that he was the prime suspect in Lakeisha's murder.
Alright, man, you can step on out.
Josiah was closely monitored, while Detective Romero was informed that his murder suspect was in custody for an unrelated charge. Although this seemed like good news, they still hadn't sat down with the witness to confirm that Josiah was the shooter, so they decided not to mention the murder investigation. They charged him for stealing the car and fleeing from the police, and Josiah was released on bond. Soon after this incident, the detective was finally able to sit down with the witness. She believed the shooter was in the car with her on the night of the murder, but she wasn't certain.
Okay, this guy, the guy that had a white balaclava. So if you were to see a picture of him, would you be able to tell me that the person who's in the car? Okay. Okay, I'm going to show you a video here captured from the downtown area. I just want you to tell me if you recognize the individual. It's only a 9-second clip, okay?
Just the dude. I was in the passenger.
Okay.
The detective finally had what he needed for an arrest, a witness who confirmed that Josiah Pittman was the shooter. Investigators quickly tracked Josiah down to a residence in South Grand Rapids, and Detective Romero assembled a fleet of cruisers, a K-9 unit, and a SWAT team to execute his arrest. A drone was also deployed, so if anybody went in or out of the house, law enforcement would know. Suddenly, one of the units noticed somebody down the street like Josiah.
That's one is walking southbound, all black with red shoes on. United SRT, want to make initial contact, please. Moving in.
The units surrounding the house stood by, while the SWAT team moved in on Josiah. Josiah to come outside.
Josiah, we have a K-9 on scene. Hands on your head. Put your hands right back up.
Josiah slowly exited the house, carefully following the SWAT team's demands.
Start walking towards us. Just listen to what we say. You got him.
He was put in handcuffs and placed into the back of a police cruiser. They transported him straight to the police station and brought him into the interrogation room for questioning.
Do you have any idea why you're here? At all? I just want to bring your attention back to May 18th, and it's specifically in the downtown Grand Rapids area. Do you remember anything about being down there?
Downtown.
No. Did you happen to hear about a 15-year-old girl being shot in the downtown area?
Yes.
You did see that?
I mean, it should happen to the person that shot that girl. You don't know?
Why he?
This entire incident was captured on camera. And I want to hear your side of the story as...
Oh man, see they gonna what? That nigga said I seen about that. I heard about that.
What happened?
You feel me?
I want to hear it from Josiah Pittman.
I don't recall.
You don't recall? Do you recall being there? Is it possible you were there? You were not down there? You don't know? This is your opportunity.
What's that? I don't remember. You don't remember?
Detective Romero's emotions were already running high, with Lakaija's killer sitting right in front of him. And Josiah playing dumb was only making things worse. But the detective kept his cool and decided to confront him with screenshots of the surveillance footage.
I'm gonna show you a picture. Who's that?
So you're going to stick with a story that you know nothing about it, you were not down there, after I just showed you 6 pictures of you downtown Grand Rapids. That's your story. Hello? Yes or no? Thumbs up? Okay, yes. This is no longer juvenile stuff, buddy.
Do you know how severe this is?
Tell him I'm not my lawyer, bro.
And you're okay with it?
Bro, this nigga acting like he in school, bro. It's not like he in a principal school, bro. Like, bro, hell no, bro. You not just in detention and shit like that, my nigga. Hey, fool, just tell him to get your lawyer, bro.
All I can say is we have a 15-year-old girl now that's dead. I don't think she's the target. There's more to this story. This is why your opportunity right now to tell us the more of the story.
I don't got no story to tell.
Clearly, Josiah had no remorse for gunning down an innocent person. The detectives took his silence as their cue to end the interview. He was booked into the county jail, and the authorities held a press conference announcing his arrest.
Over this past weekend, the Grand Rapids Police have arrested Josiah Tyree Pittman, and my office has filed charges against Mr. Pittman for that homicide that occurred back in May.
A 15-year-old girl who was literally just riding her scooter in downtown Grand Rapids is gunned down, and the family was devastated. Absolutely heartbreaking, absolutely tragic, absolutely avoidable. We are not going to be the city that tolerates one of our children getting murdered and not following through.
At Josiah's arraignment hearing, the judge read out his charges, but Josiah didn't seem concerned whatsoever. In fact, he seemed bored.
The crime is called homicide, murder, second degree, which in the state of Michigan is a life offense or any term of years. It is alleged that you did carry or have in your possession a firearm to with a handgun at the time you committed or attempted to commit a felony.
That's what folks say. I know like DDG.
Although Josiah initially maintained his innocence, he later admitted to being the shooter and changed his plea to guilty. His sentencing took place on October 8th, 2025, 6 days after his 20th birthday.
That nigga
He had a
couldn't sleep.
smirk on his face as he sat down with his defense team. Lakaija's mom, Shakita Matheson, had the opportunity to speak to the court, and she urged the judge to hold her daughter's killer accountable.
Lakaija's death did not only take my daughter, it shook my entire family. My other children are grieving deeply and live the loss of my daughter. I hope to put my pain, our family's experience is truly heard. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
In response, Josiah's attorneys did everything they could to vouch for their client, explaining that Lakaija's death was the result of Josiah's trauma-filled upbringing.
Mr. Pittman is a person who was a child in our community, who was raised in this community, who was to incredible difficulty as a young individual.
Hey, he looking at the judge looking like, you know this some bullshit. My lawyer is some bullshit.
Was a young child. He saw his parents being incarcerated. He saw days where he had no parent oversight. He was often moved from home to home. When you have a young child who is at a young age looking out his window and seeing a gunman try to shoot another person, when you're having a young person who knows that individuals that he is closely associated with are involved in gang violence and knows that because of his connection to those individuals that he is a target, that he has in fact been targeted in the past. It created an immense trauma mindset, to be quite frank, and it created a situation for Josiah where he felt he was in a constant threat of gun violence.
So how does it stop? How does the cycle, generation to generation, or at least in this case?
Your Honor, I wish I had an answer. And
Same here.
And I think the reality is, I've known Mr.
Oh God, like she just
got
talking.
arrested on this, and slowly over time, he opened up, and the first ways that he opened up was showing profound remorse. Mr. Pittman's remorse is true.
Josiah was also asked if he had anything to say. He read the message he had written aloud, apologizing to Lakaija's family for his actions.
First, I want to apologize to the victim.
I don't want to.
Correct instructions for the second-degree murder.
Josiah Tyree Pittman was sentenced to a minimum of 27 years and a maximum of 52 years in prison. For some reason, Josiah couldn't help but smile and laugh to himself for the rest of the hearing, a reaction that made his heartfelt apology feel much less sincere. He was taken to the Charles Eagler Reception and Guidance Center, where he currently resides.
That was some shit.